My colleagues Aman Sharma and Pallavi Ghosh, in Hindi they say chappe chappe pe nazar. So these are two people who've actually gone to every lane and by-lane, in Rajasthan. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this morning. Aman, I can see the smile ear to ear. Voter turnout, behind that enthusiastic response from you and your team on the ground.
Well, absolutely. I think Arunima, early morning, 7 a.m., we saw few voters turn up even at 6:45 a.m. trying to get into the queue to vote. And what is very heartening is the large number of women voters. We have women voters here. If I show you there in the back, there is this woman voter who's trying to get on a wheelchair to vote. We earlier also had a woman who came on a wheelchair to vote. So this is the spirit of the voters, Arunima. Even the old voters, the people who can't walk, are here to vote. And this is the polling booth of the Chief Minister, Mr. Ashok Gehlot, here in Sardarpura. This is Mahamandir area, Arunima, where the Ashok Gehlot was born. He has an ancestral house. And some women here, let's just get their voices. तो महिला वोटर काफी हैं सुबह सुबह यहाँ पे, बड़ी अच्छी बात है. और अशोक गहलोत जी का ये एरिया भी है. तो आपको क्या लगता है महिला के क्या बड़े मुद्दे रहे हैं इस इलेक्शन में? क्यों आप वोट डाल रही हैं? किसको वोट तो नहीं पूछेंगे हम, पर क्यों वोट डाल रही है? महिला जी के क्या मुद्दे हैं?
वोट देने के लिए बहुत बहुत उत्साहित है हम, और मेन ऑब्जेक्ट यही है कि अच्छी सरकार आए और जो क्राइम जो आजकल बढ़ रहा है, मेन बस उस पे स्टॉप लग सके और वुमेन सेफ्टी मिले. वुमेन सेफ्टी राजस्थान में पहले ऐसा नहीं था, पर आजकल थोड़ी जो सेफ्टी है वो अनसेफ्टी हो रही है. सो वी जस्ट वांट वुमेन सेफ्टी.
वुमेन सेफ्टी इज अ मेजर इशू दिस यंग गर्ल हियर इज सेइंग. आपको लगता है महिलाओं के साथ वो सेफ्टी वाला इशू, जैसे कह रही हैं कि आपको लगता है थोड़ा अनसेफ महसूस होता है राजस्थान में पिछले कुछ सालों में? ऐसा है क्या बात?
अशोक गहलोत ने हमारे एरिया के वो है, तो हम उनको बोलना चाहते हैं कि आगे भी हमारे को और कुछ हेल्प करे.
As Arunima, this is Ashok Gehlot's area. This is his bastion. But here also, we are seeing voices, and I spoke earlier to some women, who are pointing out this thing that women's safety is an issue. And women voters, I think, hold the key in Rajasthan this time. Which way will the women voters go? Will they vote for the BJP? Because the BJP's campaign in this election has all been about women's safety, that women are unsafe. Look at the heinous crimes which are happening. This was never which happened in Rajasthan earlier. Rajasthan was a peaceful and a safe state where tourists come from abroad and, go to Jaipur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, Jaisalmer. Why has Rajasthan become so unsafe? That has been the BJP's entire campaign.
Okay.
But what we are seeing from the Congress side is this aggressive pitch, to this 10,000 rupee monthly dole for women, for example, that they have promised if they come back to power. This is also, in a way, getting the women voters towards towards the Congress. So I see a split in the women voters. Some men voters also. Ashok Gehlot जी का ये एरिया है. आपको लगता है मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे दोबारा?
बनेंगे, 100% बनेंगे. उन्होंने लोगों की भलाई के कार्य ऐसे किया जैसे सम्राट अशोक ने किए. और यहाँ जो पार्क था गंदा, मानसागर के नाम से था, उन्होंने मानसागर पार्क इतना शानदार बना दिया. जो आज घूमने के लिए आते हैं बुजुर्ग आदमी, जो बीमार होते हैं, वो भी शुद्ध हो जाते हैं.
They saying that obviously we have a first time voter also, this young girl. तो आपको क्या लगता है, पहली बार वोट डाल रही हैं, तो कैसा वोटिंग करके कैसा लग रहा है, और क्या आप गवर्नमेंट से चाहेंगी जो नई गवर्नमेंट आए या जो भी गवर्नमेंट अब आए इस राजस्थान?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. थोड़ा नर्वस फील कर रहे हैं क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम है, और मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया. एक्साइटेड भी बहुत थी मैं कि आज मैं वोट देने वाली हूँ, और मैंने वोट दिया. अब देखते हैं गवर्नमेंट बनती है, क्या क्या प्लान है अपने जोधपुर के हिसाब से उनके लिए, क्या क्या करेंगे, क्या क्या डेवलपमेंट होगा हमारे जोधपुर में. और मैं चाहती हूँ कि अच्छा ही डेवलपमेंट हो, जिससे सारे सबको फैसिलिटी मिले और कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो.
आपको सेफ लगता है राजस्थान में? बीजेपी ने कहा कि सेफ्टी वुमेन का एक इशू है. आपको लगता है आप सेफ है राजस्थान में?
सेफ तो है, बट अब मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा मीडियम है. इतना नहीं कह सकते बाहर वाली सिटीज को देख के कि है बाकी, क्योंकि सिटीज में बहुत ज्यादा, और ऊपर से क्या सब ब्रॉड माइंडेड है. यहाँ थोड़ा रहता है पर चलता है, और राजस्थान तो अब रहते हैं तो अपना सिटी है तो अच्छा लगता है यार.
As you can see in Arunima, that some discomfort amongst the women voters on the issue of women's safety. They are saying that it is not as safe as it was earlier.
Right.
Will this cost the Congress, or will the women still vote for Congress for this 500 rupee LPG cylinders and this will be 10,000 promise remains to be seen.
Aman, do hold on. Let me bring in Pallavi. Pallavi, andar ki khabar. What is Congress's own analysis? How much of damage has been done because of the pilot Gehlot feud? How much of parampara do they really think is going to be changed by Rajasthan voters?
Well, I mean, of course, any political party is always very hopeful. But yes, I mean, I found those voices on the ground. In fact, even Sachin Pilot supporters in Tonk would make the point that I wish this infighting hadn't taken place because it wasted a lot of time. But back over here at the center, you are seeing a change in the strategy from being non-committal about who's going to become the CM face, where there was a sense which was building up that Gehlot is the prime face without being declared as the CM candidate or the CM face should the Congress party come back to power, to a shift and a realization, I would say, towards the end that Sachin Pilot does matter. I think that's also because of the specific inputs they started to get, and it is not just about the Gujar Meena votes, but about a large number of young voters. We are all talking about women voters, but there's another important factor which the BJP is playing on, and that is on the paper leak issue. That's what I found. I mean, right when I moved from Jaipur to Kota, which is the coaching factory hub, or the coaching institute hub rather to say, the women, the children voters, the young voters, they matter a lot. In fact, if you look at Election Commission statistics, at least in 66% of the constituencies of the state, there are a large number of voters are actually between the age group of 18 to 39. It's these voters who matter, both for the BJP and for the Congress. And the Congress's calculation then towards the end became twofold. One, let's get in Sachin Pilot out more and more. There were specific demands which were made in by many of the candidates that do get Sachin out, because one, you try and win over the young voters who are angry. And the second, of course, is the anti-incumbency identified with Gehlot's face. Perhaps that can be negated if Sachin Pilot is also out equally, because then you try and send out a perception that it could be him, or it could be Gehlot, or it could just about be anybody else should the Congress party come back to power.
Will the Congress party get back to power? Aman, as I'm speaking to you, there are visuals of Gajendra Shekhawat standing in the line. He's also a voter from the city that you are in. He's a voter from Jodhpur. He's a member of parliament from that area. But is he also a CM candidate of the Bharatiya Janata Party? We're not very sure about the personalities who have thrown their hat in the ring as far as the CM chair is concerned.
Well, obviously, that's $1 million question, Arunima, that if the BJP wins, who is going to become their chief minister? Will the BJP repose faith again in the two-time chief minister, Vasundhara Raje, who was not projected this time, but, she has campaigned aggressively across the state, especially for the candidates who are her loyalists. There is this buzz that 50 to 60 tickets in Rajasthan were given as per Vasundhara Raje's choices. So if those 50 or 60 candidates, some of them win, if you say 40 or 50 win, is she back in the reckoning to become the chief minister? Obviously, there are other claimants. Gajendra Shekhawat, I spoke to him yesterday in Jodhpur, and he was very careful to speak anything on the CM face. He just said, "Jo bhi CM banenge, wo Modi ji ke vision ko aage lekar jaye, Rajasthan ko unnati de." But he said कि Gehlot साहब के सरकार की विदाई तय हो गई है. In fact, Mr. Gajendra Shekhawat claimed that even Gehlot will lose from his Sardarpura seat itself. He is saying that there are 10 seats in Jodhpur, Arunima, out of which Congress had won 7 the last time. He was saying there will be a clean sweep in Jodhpur. He said that the mood is totally against Mr. Gehlot in Rajasthan. And as you can see, voters here were queued up early morning to vote at this compound where Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot will be here shortly in about half an hour to cast his vote. I think the issue of what Pallavi was also touching on, Arunima, the Gehlot Pilot fight. This has been a theme in this elections. Mr. Pilot is just an MLA right now. He is not the deputy CM anymore. He is not the PCC chief anymore. But I think the Pilot shadow over this election has loomed large. People on the ground, if you go to, they do say that Gehlot और Pilot साहब 4.5 साल लड़ते रहे और ये जो अब यूनिटी दिखा रहे हैं, people think this is a facade. There is no unity at all. Gajendra Shekhawat, in fact, told me in the interview yesterday that if the Congress loses this election, which he is very sure the Congress will lose, you see how Gehlot and Pilot start blaming each other for the loss, and this whole facade of unity will be, exposed when it happens.
Right.
So I think that's been a major theme in this election. Why Mr. Pilot was not projected as a chief ministerial candidate this time by
Right.
the Congress.
Aman Arjun Ram Meghwal, another member of parliament from Rajasthan, also a very important minister in the union government, holding the law portfolio. His visuals also coming in after I think he's cast his vote. We'll dip in if he speaks. But Pallavi, coming back to the question that we have been discussing about Gehlot versus Pilot, I had a chance to visit Rajasthan as well, and in Dosa, the Gujar population was extremely upset. Okay, Pallavi, I'll come to you, but Arjun Ram Meghwal, I think will speak in